The lacrosse community lost one of its most valued members when Warren Kimber passed away this summer. Warren dedicated a significant portion of his time and effort to improve the sport. His management of officiating, training, and assignments provided consistency nationally, and his quiet leadership served the sport and NCAA incredibly well. This training video is dedicated to Warren's memory. He always taught his officials to put the game above themselves. For once, we're putting Warren first. He will be truly missed. Welcome to the 2016 NCAA Men's Lacrosse Rules and Officiating video. The NCAA has prepared this video to communicate several key points of emphasis for the upcoming season. This is not a year in which the rules have changed. It is important, however, to review the changes made for the 2015 season. These changes were, by and large, extremely successful and well received by the lacrosse community. In this section of the video, we will focus on the officiating mechanics, violations, restarts, and other aspects to continue the progress made with faceoffs. Again, the changes made have improved the faceoff play and achieved the committee's goal to limit the number of violations while allowing faceoff players to use their quickness. The changes also brought the wing players back into this play, which created a fair, exciting play. This is a great example of a legal face-off, conducted properly by the officials with the intended result. The ball comes out quickly and both teams battle for possession.
To the left, please. A little bit more, please. Thank you. Stay there, please.
Hand off the line, White. Hand off the line. Thank you.
Okay.
This clip is a great example of the officials instructing the face-off players before the whistle. This is exactly how the process should go and is intended to avoid violations and achieve a fair face-off. This is another example of a good legal face-off. Here is an example of the face-off man in white trapping the ball and flipping the ball to himself within one step. This is a legal play. Here is a good example of a strong, clear signal by the official conducting the face-off. In this face-off, the secondary official gets in good position to see and call this violation on the white player. Although it is difficult to see because the play is partially obscured by the referee, the player in white attempts to pop the ball free as he comes out with the ball in the back of his stick. However, the ball does not come out until the second attempt. This clip shows how quickly this play can happen and should have resulted in a face-off violation. Here, the face-off player in white traps the ball under his cross on the ground. This by itself is not a violation. However, because the player in white does not directly move the ball out as he gains control, the player in black comes over the top and for a moment clamps on top of the opponent's stick. As play continues, the player in white continues to withhold the ball from play by raking for several seconds after clearly gaining control of the ball. A violation should have been called on this face-off. This is withholding the ball from play and should have been a violation. In this clip, the red face-off player wins control of the ball quickly by beating his opponent to the clamp. As the player in white tries to counter his opponent's move, he inadvertently kicks the cross of the player in red. This play happens very quickly. While it's clear in the slow-motion replay, this type of movement is often difficult to see as it occurs in live action. The team in red gains possession of the ball anyway, but this should have been called as a violation on the team in white. In addition, this violation would have counted as one of the 3 allowed per half. The use of the foot is on display in this face-off. Clearly, the player in red moves his foot into the cross of his opponent and uses his foot to hold back his opponent. Great pickup by the official in this case, and an appropriate call. Here is a textbook example of how the face-off is to be conducted. The primary official has the players come down and adjusts one player before putting the ball down. The players are set and the whistle starts play. Well done. One of the Rules Committee's goals with the face-off rules changes was to bring back the importance of the wing players during the face-off. These 2 clips are great examples of the progress made to this goal. Violations in conjunction with a face-off can sometimes be incorrectly administered. This is a good example of a violation that occurs well after the face-off has ended. Good job by this crew not to count this as one of the team's face-off violations. In this section, we will focus on plays around the crease area. This continues to be a topic of discussion for the Rules Committee and is the most difficult play to officiate in our game. To review, in plays around the crease, if the ball crosses the plane of the goal prior to a player touching any part of the crease or the goaltender, the goal shall count, provided his feet are grounded when he released the ball. If a player leaves his feet of his own volition, jumps or dives, the goal shall not count. Obviously, these are difficult determinations when defensive actions or contact, like a push, may be involved. Officials need to consider two things. One, did the offensive player leave his feet on his own, in which case the goal shall not count? And two, if contact occurred, was it legal or not? Good communication by officials is important when dealing with these difficult plays. In these crease plays, the attacking team members all do a great job of staying out of the crease until the ball is in the goal. In some cases, the attacking player steps through the crease after scoring. In all cases, these are legal goals.
Wittick keeps his feet grounded. Watch his feet. They stay grounded. 1 foot on the ground denotes you're grounded. By definition in the NCAA rulebook, Carolina wanted to dive, no dice. Great body control.
These are two examples that show the rules change from last season. In both cases, the shooters keep their feet grounded throughout the shot, and while they land on the crease line after the ball enters the goal. Because the shooters were grounded throughout the shot and did not dive, these were correctly ruled legal goals. Here is an example of an attack cutting to the goal and diving across the front of the crease as he scores. In this case, the player lands outside the crease, which makes this a legal play. However, had the player landed on the crease line, this goal would have been disallowed. There are two types of players to consider when talking about the dive play. One, a player in possession, and two, a player not in possession. In this play, the players leave their feet in an attempt to gain possession of a loose ball. No one has possession. As long as contact with the goalkeeper while he is in the crease is avoided, an offensive player may leave his feet to catch a pass or get a loose ball. If he is successful and the ball enters the goal prior to contact with the goalie or crease, the goal shall count. Here, the officials do a great job of allowing the play to present itself. This was a tremendous play all around and a legal goal. In this play, the team in white works the ball around and gets an open opportunity just outside the crease. As the shot is taken, the player in red pushes the shooter from behind, causing him to end up in the crease. Good communication by the crew to end up at the correct place. Legal goal, and the push foul is wiped out.
Technical push. Goal's good. Wiped out.
The next two examples illustrate excellent flag down mechanics in these push situations. In both cases, the attacking player gains an advantage and is pushed while attempting to score. In the first play, the flag goes down and play is quickly stopped when the player in red contacts the crease line. In the second clip, the player in light blue scores, wiping out the flag.
Technical foul. Push on white. Wiped out. Goal's good. TV timeout.
This clip underscores how difficult these plays can be to judge. The attacking player comes from behind the goal, leaves his feet, and dives toward the front of the crease. A defender meets him near the crease and appears to push the attack man, so he lands in the crease. The goal is waved off because the player left his feet of his own volition and landed on the edge of the crease. If the contact from the defender was ruled to be illegal, a foul would have resulted. Again, this is a play that is very difficult to judge and occurs quickly. It appears that the defender in blue pushes the player in white into the crease as he scores a goal. The official making the call is on the other side of the goal, and his vision of the play was possibly blocked out. The official on the restart must follow this play to the goal to give help with this very close play. This play could have just as easily been counted as a legal goal for the white team. This is a play with a lot of factors coming together at the same time. Because this is during the NCAA championship, whether or not the ball was released before a shot was taken is reviewable. However, the call on the field was that the attacking player left his feet on his own and landed in the crease, making it a violation and no goal. Good crew communication to manage this play.
No. Listen to me. It cannot be a goal either way. If he doesn't have a push, then he went on his own. Either way, it can't be a goal. Either way. Yeah, absolutely. Either way.
It is, but it isn't. It is, but it isn't. Ruling on the field is the player intentionally left his feet, ended up in the crease, therefore no goal. That is not reviewable on time because it's no goal.
This is why the rules makers say no dive, because he ends up right in the feet of the goalie, lands on his shoulder, see the helmet to the leg, and then the goalie lands on him. For the safety of the players in college lacrosse, that's why there's no dive.
Here is another play with several factors in effect. Was the shot released before time is out? Did the attacking player leave his feet and end up in the crease? Was there a foul on the play? The initial call on the field, as is often the case, is a legal goal and no crease violation. Great job by the crew. In this play, the defense uses a good legal body check to create a loose ball. In the scramble, one of the attacking players in red ends up in the crease. Good communication by the crew and proper call of a crease violation. This section deals with the shot clock rules. The committee believes overall the advent of the shot clock is having the intended impact on the game. Adding a visible clock has helped the teams and fans to better understand what is happening during play. The shot clock has given the officials a tool to impact the pace of play when needed. The committee also believes that the ability for teams to approach the sport differently has contributed to the growth and popularity of the sport. Overall, the use of the shot clock with the current rules is seen as a positive. In order to continue to improve with the application of the shot clock, several examples have been selected. The first example shows the team in purple working for an opportunity, taking 2 shots that are blocked. Eventually, a defender commits a foul, and it becomes obvious that the offensive team has changed their pace of play. The officials communicate and put the shot clock on pretty quickly. The offensive team resets and gets a good shot, hitting the pipe with a shot. This negates the shot clock. The purple team gets the rebound and maintains possession. The officials properly signal by waving off the shot clock. Play continues with no shot clock until the offensive team pulls the ball back and once again becomes very deliberate. The officials again put the shot clock on appropriately. The entire sequence is over when a shot goes out of bounds on the end line. Upon the restart, there will be no shot clock, as by rule, there is now an extra man situation. In this sequence, both teams will receive shot clock warnings. In the first possession, the team in red is given an appropriate amount of time to substitute, run its offense, and generate some scoring chances. After a shot and save, the white team clears the ball and sets up its offense. Again, the officials take into account the nature of the offensive team's attempt to go to goal. and puts on a shot clock warning. The methods and strategy of each team in possession is virtually the same at both ends of the field. Both resulted in a shot clock being initiated by the officials. These are two good examples of the shot clock rules being used appropriately. Here, a shot clock warning is in effect for the team in red. During the course of play, a loose ball push is called against the team in white. The red team keeps possession, and the technical foul causes the shot clock to be reset. Good job by the crew. This is a good example of a shot clock violation that creates a turnover. Good work by the crew to allow a quick restart and potential transition play after the attempted shot.
Transition here after the point turnover.
In this play, a flag goes down against the team in white during a loose ball. The team in red, who is leading the game in the fourth quarter, takes possession and clears the ball. After some substitutions, the offensive team uses some deliberate offense to burn some time off of the clock. The officials put the shot clock warning on appropriately.
What's the backside?
This possession comes late in the half after the team is awarded the ball after a face-off. The officiating crew does a good job of allowing the white team to run its offense and try to find some advantage, while keeping in mind that the half is coming to a close. Eventually, the crew puts a shot clock warning on and a shot is created. The following are several good examples of picks that are used during some typical offensive sequences. As a reminder, players must be stationary and stay within the shoulder frame of their bodies to be legal. Players that make themselves larger by taking a wider stance or using their stick outside of the frame of their shoulders put themselves in jeopardy of being called for an illegal screen. This play was correctly called as a moving pick. This was called because the player in white has his stick extended out to the side of his body in an attempt to hook and/or hold the defender. The offensive player correctly drops the ball and allows the goaltender in purple to pick up the ball. The officials properly restart the play quickly. In this example, the offensive player is clearly moving as contact is made with the defender. The last few examples are legal plays. Note that the players setting the picks are stationary and do not make themselves bigger to create contact with the opponent.
Slide by the jumbos. Now Stewart to initiate.
On this play, the goaltender in white is clearly caught out of position and realizes he's in trouble. He intentionally gooses the ball out of bounds, and possession is awarded to the team in red. As the player in red re-enters the field of play, he has a running start, and one of his own teammates is within 5 yards of him. The officials correctly stop play and make the player in red return to the spot of the restart before beginning play. A player is allowed the advantage of a quick restart as long as he establishes himself in the proper spot of the restart. It is the player's responsibility to wait for the official's whistle before he begins play, and no restart can occur if a player on the same team is within 5 yards of the player in possession. In this play, the face-off man in white jumps the whistle and pushes the ball forward. This is a good example of the restart being handled incorrectly. On a face-off violation, when one player goes early, the restart should occur at or near the midfield line. In this case, the player in red has a running start before the whistle. While he is entitled to a quick restart, the player must stop or pause prior to the whistle being blown. If the player continues to run, he negates any advantage he might have had with a quick restart. This restart should be handled in the same manner as if the ball went out of bounds. Play should have been stopped briefly and restarted with the red player stopped at the face-off location. In this example, the team in white has already stepped the ball into the attack goal area, satisfying the 30-second clearing count. As the player in white passes the ball back toward his teammate, the ball crosses the midline. Officials correctly realize the over and back violation and award the ball to the team in purple. The restart is clean and occurs in the proper position, at or near the midline, with no players near the player in possession at the time of the restart. Here, the team in white is on offense inside the attack goal area. An errant pass causes the ball to cross the midline near the substitution box. The official correctly recognizes the over and back violation and restarts the play quickly, allowing the team in red to gain the advantage at the opposite end of the field. Good job. This play shows a defensive player for the team in white doing a good job of preventing an over and back by reaching across the midline and batting the ball. The ball stays on the offensive side of the field, and the team in white legally regains possession. Had the ball crossed the midline, or had the defensive player possessed the ball with his feet in the defensive half of the field, an over and back violation would have resulted. The following play is a difficult play to handle and is correctly officiated by the trail official. The team in purple is on offense and an errant pass goes toward the midline. Players from both teams reach over the midline and battle for the loose ball. There is potential here for an over and back to occur, as well as offsides or more serious fouls by either team. Play is correctly allowed to continue as the player in white causes the ball to cross the midline. The play results in a fast break opportunity and a goal for the team in white. Good job by the official on the play, who had to make the difficult call at the midfield line and cover the goal at his end of the field. It is important to note that men's lacrosse is a physical sport where legal body contact and legal stick checks are part of the game. The sport allows for these types of contact. However, if the contact is excessive, these types of fouls must be called and enforced as illegal plays. The following clips are examples of plays where the boundary line between legal and illegal contact has been crossed. These plays were all correctly flagged as illegal and resulted in time-serving fouls. The defensive player in red takes a wild swing at the attack player in white and hits the body with the check. This excessive and violent swing is correctly called as a slashing penalty. Here, a seemingly innocent swing of the stick was correctly called as a slashing penalty. In regular motion, the play looks like not much has occurred, but as the slow motion replay shows, the player in red clearly makes contact with the head and neck area of the player in white. It's also important to note the proper signals to the table area by the trail official. The verbal and visual signals to the table allow for the penalty to be properly noted by the scorekeeper. Good job. Excessive swings of the stick that result in contact to the head and neck area are always a concern in men's lacrosse. This clip shows a violent swing that results in exactly that. Officials correctly flagged the player in red, resulting in a 1-minute foul. Overly excessive fouls of this nature could be enforced as multiple-minute fouls. Here, a riding attackman swings wildly at a defensive player after the ball has been passed to another player. Note the score and time left in the contest. Plays of this nature are more likely to occur in this time frame as a result of frustration. Officials correctly flagged the player in white for slashing. Personal fouls, including slashes, can be enforced as full-time served fouls or multiple-minute fouls. This clip shows a violent slash by the player in white. This intentional slash to the back of the player in red could have been enforced as a full-time or multiple-minute foul. Late and high hits have been a point of emphasis for several years. These types of hits can occur in many locations during a game. Here are a few examples of these types of fouls that were correctly enforced. The crease area is one location where late hits or helmet-to-helmet contact are likely to occur. Here, the player in red initiates contact that is clearly late and high after the player in white scores. The officials do a good job of controlling what could have been an ugly situation. The foul is correctly enforced as a dead ball, non-releasable foul. Possession was awarded to the team in white with no face-off. Here is a play in the middle of the field where a clearing attempt by the team in blue results in an unnecessary hit by the player in white. The single-side official immediately throws the flag and whistles the play as a penalty. Here, a shooter is leveled long after the ball is out of his stick. Serious injuries can occur when body contact occurs this late. Both the single side and trail officials throw flags. It's important for officials to keep eyes on the shooter or passer after the ball is released. Good job. Here is another reminder for officials to stay focused after the whistle blows to stop play. Officials stop play as the team in white calls timeout. The player in red knocks the ball carrier down after the stoppage of play. A dead ball late hit foul is correctly enforced on the team in red. This example shows a high hit, possibly helmet to helmet, that goes uncalled. The play happens in transition and is between the trail and single side officials. The player in blue initiates contact to the player in white. The player in white slightly ducks, trying to avoid the hit at the last second. His movement makes this play look a lot worse than it might have been if he had remained upright. The replay clearly shows helmet-to-helmet contact. Hits such as this need to be called and enforced as potentially multiple-minute fouls. The use of the stick handle by a defensive player in a thrusting motion has been a point of emphasis for several years. Several approved rulings in Rule 6-4 clearly states that a player may not use the portion of the handle that is between his hands to hold an opponent, and that only equal pressure may be exerted. This clip shows the officials correctly flagging a defensive player in blue for using a thrusting motion to exert unequal pressure on the dodging attack man. If the thrusting motion is excessive, the foul would be enforced as a 1-minute cross-checking penalty. Here, the defensive player in black on the backside of the crease area and away from the ball interferes with the attacking player in white, pushing him into the crease. The single-side official correctly throws a flag and immediately stops play because the attacking player is now in the crease. The correct signal to the table area ends any possible confusion, as this is a play that does not happen often. The following video clips relate to warding off. Today's offensive players use an array of movements to gain an edge on defenders as they dodge. Many of these are legal. However, there are some types of movements that overstep the boundaries of fair play. Players often use the free hand to push off an opponent as they dodge, or clamp down and hold with the elbow, grabbing the stick of the defender to gain an edge. These clips show how offensive players free their hands with some of these dodges. Sometimes the call is made, while other times it is not. It's important for officials to watch for these types of tactics and make the calls when they see these illegal moves. Here we see an offensive player, number 3 in white, dodging his way through traffic and scoring a goal with a swim move. The swim move is by itself a legal dodge and often very effective. In this case, however, the free hand, the left hand, is used to push off and direct the defender away from the path of attack. The play is correctly called warding off. The goal was disallowed and possession awarded to the defensive team. Player number 51 in white attempts the same swim move as in the previous clip. This time the play continues with no foul called for warding off. Here the offensive player in red gains a huge advantage by hooking his arm behind the defender and sliding through to the goal. The replay shows clearly the left arm hooking or chicken winging the defender in white. The result is another great dodge to elude a second defender, and a goal is scored. This play is also not whistled by the officials. With the change in the face-off procedure, the ball is coming out quickly and creating loose balls. This was the intended result of the rule. However, with more loose balls resulting from the face-off changes, there has been an increase of freehand pushing or holding during these plays. Officials need to be aware of this and more diligent in catching the violations. In these two face-off clips, freehand pushes go uncalled. The result in these two examples does not seem to matter, as the offended team eventually gains possession. However, more often than not, these uncalled fouls result in possession for the team whose player committed the foul. We included this clip in the video as a great reminder of the uniqueness and excitement in our sport. This was one of the better moments of the 2014-15 season in all NCAA sports.
He's going to get a shot off and he scores! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Thank you for your time and attention to this presentation, and good luck this season.